Good evening and welcome to this edition of Sell Your Own Product on Amazon for Income and Lifestyle, with the emphasis on the lifestyle. That's what we uh, emphasize around here, is the lifestyle, because there's a lot of good courses out there selling private label. Not knocking any of them, but we're the only ones that we're teaching basically how to do it and have a lifestyle with it and have a business you can sell at the end, because that's what it's all about. You want something that's sellable, something that's transferred to your kids or whatever. You just don't want to do like I do, and that's for another. I did for that, and that's for I've told before, and I'll probably tell it again, but not tonight. But how I worked for 25 years and then ended up with having nothing to sell because it was all about me, and that's what. We were talking about. So I'm not going to go into tonight. Tonight we're here and we're going to talk about the advantages of selling private label brands, and that's where it's all about. We're want to see you guys succeed. Want to see you be able to have a business, like I say, you can sell or transfer. So without any further ado, we're going to go on over here. I've got a slideshow like usual, uh, uh, and we're going to get that, and we're going to talk about the advantages of selling private label brands. See, it's your baby. You should be able to do with it whatever you want. You spent the time, you've done the research, you picked the product, you've had it sent to Amazon, and you've designed the label, designed all that kind of stuff. And so it's your baby. So you can do with what you want. But these are the advantages. This is what you can do that almost anybody else selling other things cannot do. Sometimes this will commingle a little bit with wholesale and all that, but mainly not. Mainly this is private label, and what the advantages of selling private label are. So like I say, it's your baby. Little baby's just bouncing around there. It's your baby, so you get to do with what you want. So since it's your baby, you can. Now, listen to this. You can name it whatever you want. In other words, you might be selling a blue widget, but you could you could name it purple clothespins for all that, or something like that. Doesn't make any difference. You can name it whatever you want. You can dress it however you like. You can take it in that product. It can come in a plain cellophane bag with a label. It comes blister pack, comes a lot of different things, but you can dress it however you like. That's one of your advantages, one you get to do, and no other way of selling on Amazon do you get to do that. You don't get to pick out the package. You get to set its value. Now, I know some people look at me like that and say, what do you mean get to set its value? You've got to be competitive. Yeah, you have to be competitive, but there's no reason when you're selling, if you're selling a blue widget and the competition's selling a blue widget, there's ways, and we talk about that quite a little bit, about you can enhance the perceived value. There's a lot of things you can do to set it, and you can sell it for more. Just because he's selling a blue widget for $10 doesn't mean you have to sell it for $10. You can probably get away and tell it maybe $12, $13, as long as you make it different and add to the perceived value. In other words, you make it look like you might only pay an extra 5 cents to have it put in a nice box instead of a cellophane bag, but that adds to the perceived value, and so therefore you can charge more. So what can I tell you? Since it's your baby, you can promote it as you see fit. See, there's a lot of different things you can do and there's not too much when you're doing retail arbitrage, you're doing wholesale, it's another person's product and all that. You can't promote it as you see fit. To some extent you can, but most of the time you can't. But with it's your own private label product, man, you can promote it. You can do there's all kind of things, press releases, write articles. We'll get into it a little later. But and then this is since it's your baby, you can arrange for a mate for it. Now that might sound strange or something like that, but say if you're selling salt shakers, man, you can get with somebody that sells a pepper shaker, and you can make a salt and pepper shaker. That's kind of a weird example, not a weird example, but a regular example. But you can arrange for a mate for it. It's your product. There's so many things you can do. You can have more siblings. In other words, if you're selling a 12-ounce container of whatever you're selling. There's no reason why you couldn't sell a 16 ounce. There's no reason why you couldn't sell an 8 ounce. And that's what I'm calling about siblings. You know, if you're selling in units, there's nothing wrong with you. A 2-pack, 4-pack, 6-pack, you can have more siblings. You can put that together. And then since it's your baby, since that product, your private label product is yours, you can sell it. What do I mean? I mean, you can sell it. We're going to get into it a little later. I'll show you. We'll continue about that. But and then you can discontinue it. What do you mean? I've got a good example of that because I'm discontinuing a product right now, and we're going to get in. We're going to talk about that. And then, since it's your baby, you can enhance it. And what do we mean by enhance it? We mean you can add something to it to make it worth more money. You can do something in the promotion, and you can add the instructions to it. You can put a DVD with it. There's a lot of different things you can do, but you can enhance it. It's your baby, you know. And that's the nice thing about selling private label. It's your product, your baby. You can do with it what you want, and that's so much different and so much better than all the other types where you've got to go strictly by what the manufacturer. Sometimes the manufacturer says, well, you can promote this, but you can't do that, and you get into a lot of different things, and you don't have to worry about that. It's your product, it's your baby. You can do whatever you want. So let's take these one at a time, and we'll go through and I'll explain exactly what I mean. So you can name it whatever you want. Now, you can use a descriptive name like Red Widgets. You can use a sentimental name like Dad's Red Widgets, or a keyword-rich name like Best Red Widgets, or a funny name like Widgie. Now, that, you know, maybe this, you think, well, then what difference does it make? What do I call it? Well, it really makes a lot of difference, because especially if you're selling on Amazon, man, you want to use that keyword-rich name. And that's going to enhance, that's going to help you sell. You're going to sell a lot more by using a keyword-rich name. You know, descriptive names, those are fine. Sentimental names, you know, I named my company after my dad. But you know, what can I tell you? But that's not on my label. That's not my private label or any of my private labels. So I just want to say, you can name it whatever you want. It's your product, your brand, so you can name it whatever you want. But be prepared to not suffer the consequences, but be prepared to live with what you decide there. Because if you want to sell a lot, you're gonna, like I say, that keyword-rich name is good. But for the product anyway, for the brand, maybe not as important. But you can name it whatever you want. So name it whatever you want. You can dress it however you like. And we've talked a lot about this when doing private label. And I can't emphasize it enough that if you're doing private label, to me, you want your product to stand out, stand up, and be noticed. So anything you can do to make the perceived value of your product be more than your competition, then that's in your favor. So and that's what I'm talking about when you dress it however you like. You know, you can put it in a plain cellophane bag with a label, and sometimes you hear me criticize that a lot, but sometimes that's good if you're selling a cheaper product, and that you can do that. But there's a lot of things, because you can't put a love letter to your customer in there. You can't do a lot of things with that cellophane bag that you can do with a box. But that's beside the point. But anyway, you can use a blister pack. Now, there's some good-looking blister packs out there. Just don't. I wouldn't use a cheap one, but a nice blister pack with a label looks good. Looks darn right good. So I mean, you can use that. You can use a box with a label. I use a box with a label on an awful lot of stuff. One reason is because what we just said there. You can put a love letter to your customer in there. You can put a promotion for another product of yours in that box. There's a lot of different things you can do with that box that you can't do with a blister pack or a cellophane bag, you know. And then you can also do a fancy box. Now, what do I mean by a fancy box? Well, like if you're going to sell jewelry or something like that, I would put it in a fancy box 9 out of 10 times, because it's going to have a higher perceived value. It's just going to look crisp if you got a nice necklace and a chain laying there in this nice box that's got the cotton, or what do you want to call it, at the bottom there. It just looks good and shows up. You know, it might only cost you maybe 4 or 5 cents, maybe not even that much, to do that as to put it in a cellophane bag or one of those other things. But the perceived value is $2-3 more by doing it that way. It makes a big difference. And then you can dress it however you like, but you can bundle it with another sibling. So, and what do I mean by that? Well, you can do what did I say? You do a 2-pack, a 3-pack, 5-pack, 4-pack, whatever you want. There's a lot of different things you want. You can fix it however you want, and that's one of the advantages of doing private label. Now you can bundle other products too. I'm not trying to give you a snow job here or anything like that, but the thing is, when it's yours, you can bundle it with another sibling, or you can do multi-packs or bundle. Like I say, if you're selling salt shakers, man, put a pepper shaker with it or something. What can I tell you? If you're selling, well, like I do, you sell cutting boards, so then I'd put a cutting board oil with it, but bundle it. Use it to your advantage, make it worthwhile. That's what you want to do. That, like I say, and I keep saying it all the time, but anything you can do to enhance the perceived value of your product, do it. It'll pay big time. All right. So you can dress it however you like. All right. You can set its value. Now, let's talk about this a minute. As I said earlier, you can price it competitively. If one of your closest competitors is selling a blue widget for $10 and you've got a blue widget to sell, you can sell it for 10. You can sell it for, I wouldn't go under 10 because you're opening up a can of worms there, but you can sell it price it competitively there. You can price it at a premium. This is what I'm talking about. If you can add to the perceived value of that, there's no reason why you can't price it at a perceived premium. Even a lot of times, it's less than it used to be, but people are catching on now, and they're doing those key rich titles, and they're doing those descriptions. But if you're going up against, especially if Amazon is one of your competitors on a different product or something like that, they do lousy descriptions, and they do lousy, a lot of their pictures in that are not that good in that. So take advantage of that. But look at your competitor, read those reviews, what's going, what the customer's saying, what they don't like of the product, and then add it to yours and make it better. And then you can price it at a premium. Just do whatever it takes to get it up there. Anytime you can price your product at a premium, I would never be the lowest price. I would always be the highest price if I can, because especially private label, you don't have any exactly competition on it's not like retail arbitrage where you got 4 or 5 sellers all selling exactly the same thing. Now, that being said, like I say, you might be selling a blue widget and this guy over here might be, but they're not under the same thing. So if you're selling yours at 10.50 and he's only selling his for 10, as long as you got something there that prices it, that makes it a premium or enhances it or something like that, you can get by with it. Sometimes you can get by with $1 or $2 higher, and a lot of times you can jump ahead and be ahead of that person even at the higher price, because people buy quality. And they're looking for quality. People on Amazon are really not there looking for a bargain. Sure, they don't want to get taken, but they're really not there looking for a bargain. They're looking for the convenience. And if you look at anything that's really hot, really sell right now, what people want right now is they want the convenience. They want it done for them. If you look on the internet, I don't know, I think I've told you, sometimes I do some affiliate marketing, and I've done that for a lot of years and still do, and everything's right now is they want it done for them. If you're going to build a website, they want you to build the website for them and sell it to them like that. And so that's what people want. People want things done for us, and so they're willing to pay a premium. So what can I tell you? And so price it. You can set its value. You can also price it as a loss leader. Say if you want to, sell you've got a couple products you want to, so if you got a 4-ounce bottle of this product, you can give that away as long as they buy a 16-ounce bottle of this. So you sell it as a loss leader. You get it out there, get people to try it, and then you naturally you'd put it in a box or something like that, so you can send them a coupon in for their next order, which only makes sense. So what can I say? Price it as a loss leader. You can, but the thing about it is, when it's your private label product, you can do any of those things. You can price it competitively, you can price it at a premium, or you can price it as a loss leader. It's up to you. You get to make that choice. You don't have to worry about other people being on your listing or any of that things. You can set the value what you want, and it's well worth it, folks. Set the value, because you're not worrying about all that. You're not worried about this guy who's got the buy box or anything. You've always got the buy box. Excuse me, I had to have a drink of water there. But you've always got the buy box, so let's not worry about it. Set the value where you think it is. You can always change it. Always change it. All it takes is a click, and 15 minutes later you got the price changed, and so don't worry about it. Okay, now, being this the advantage of selling private label brands is you can promote it as you see fit. You can promote by SEO. What I mean by that, by search engine optimization. Those of you who are familiar with it, you can do reviews. You can do reviews. You can do press releases. That's one of my favorite. I send out a lot of press releases. They work really good. Matter of fact, I think I've told you before that last year I ran out of one of my most important products, and it was actually right before Christmas. It made it there just a couple days after Thanksgiving, so it didn't make it for Christmas. But I was out for about 6 weeks there, and I made good use of that, because what I did was I sent out press releases in the first couple of weeks. I just sent out once a week, and then as we got closer to when they were coming in, towards the end, the last week, I sent one out every day for my product. So when my product hit Amazon, people were looking for it, and they were ready, and it took off, and it sold real well, and I had a really good season. But it's only because I promoted it by the use of press releases or SEO. So you can promote by coupons. You know, you can Amazon's got that program in there where you can take your product and do a promotion where you give people a coupon or a code. They put that code in and they automatically get a discount. You know, you can use that to your advantage. Send that code out to people like that. And you can also promote by word of mouth. You know, how do you do promote by word of mouth? Well, that's one way, with that love letter that you put inside your product when you send it to your customer, is offering them a discount if they do this. If they send in a friend, there's a lot of different promotions you get, and this is not the place to go through all these promotions tonight. I'm not going to. We cover them in the course, and we've also covered them in some of these hangouts. So and remind me to tell you about that, because we've got the hangouts, the past hangouts listed on my website now, so you can go anytime you want, go back and you can look into one of these. If you thought, well, I said this or something like that, and you want to look it up, you can go. I'll tell you where they're at and all that a little later on. So promote by word of mouth. You know, that's what it's about. And then promote by discounting. And we've talked about this quite a few times, but you know, I think one of the biggest things that if you're selling a blue widget, and this guy over here is selling a blue widget, and he's got 100 reviews, and then so you want to make sure you've got at least 101 reviews, so Amazon's showing you first. And that's one of the ways, by promoting by discount, then you can do that. Just go on one of the forums like the FBA forum or Dwayne Malik's or whoever's like that, and just go on and say, hey guys, I've got this new product and I really need your help. I'd be willing to sell it to you for a big discount, just as long as you promise me that you'll give me a review. Now, don't go out asking for a 5-star review or anything like that. Just ask for a review. People will respect that. They know what you're talking about, and Amazon has no problem with that. So promote as you feel fit. Promote by discounts is one of the biggest ways to get those number of reviews in there. And man, when you do that, you know, you might have to sell 100 units or 101 or 105 units, whatever it is, at maybe a little bit of loss or something like that to get those reviews. But believe me, they'll be well worth it, because as long as your reviews more than the other guy's reviews, then Amazon is you're gonna be the first one they show when the customers type in blue widgets. So take that for what it's worth, but that's one of the promotions. You can promote it as you see fit. It's your product, you promote it. All right. Then, now this might seem arrange for a mate for this. It's like we're in some foreign country, we're arranging a marriage here or not, but we are kind of. You arrange a mate for your product. You can do a joint venture with another product. Say that you've got once again, the salt shaker and the pepper shaker. You can, if you're selling salt shakers, you can find somebody that's got a pepper shaker, and you can do a joint venture where he sells your product and you sell his product, or you could put the two together and do a product together, do a bundle, or what do you want to call it. But you can do that, and you can bundle it with another product. Like I say, uh, and I keep saying this salt and pepper shaker, but there's a lot of things you can. Okay, let me bundle with another product. What I did is I had, and I've talked to you before about this. I sell cutting boards, and so I thought one of the first things I did, which a natural would go with cutting boards, would be a cutting board oil. It's a sizing oil that you put on, and you use it about once a month, or it depends on how often you use the cutting board, but you put it with that. So I thought, well, that would be a natural. So I put the cutting board, the oil in there, and then I went and I found a bundle, a nice deal on rags, and I put a rag in this, put a box on it, put a great looking label on it, and I bundled it with all those products together, and sent it to Amazon, and it's selling, and we'll talk more about it later on, but it's sold really good there for a long time, and now it's not doing too good, and we'll talk about that later on. But you can sell multi-packs of your products, like like that cutting board oil. There's no reason why you can sell a 1-pack, a 2-pack, you can sell a 3-pack. What can I tell you? When I sold I used to sell a lot of cookies, as I told you before, and I sold a lot of 6-packs. With the 6-pack of cookies, you can make about $10 on a 6-pack, and believe me, it's well worth it. You just put them in a thing, put the label on it, put them on there, and it's a neat deal. Sell multi-packs of your products. Believe me, people are looking for not so much a deal, but they're looking for the convenience. It's easier for them to order one time and get 6-packs of cookies as it is to order 1 or 2 packs of cookies. So especially if it's something they like. And I don't know if you know it, a lot of the cookies and a lot of the food like that is sold to the military and stuff like that, so they'll get a send to them. So then you can sell it as a loss leader for your bigger product. Okay, what, for instance, yeah, I could take the cutting boards, for instance, that I sell, or take the oil and say, if you buy my cutting board, why, I would be glad to sell this to you for, usually sells for $13. I think I got to list that right now. See, you sell it for $5 or something like that. I wouldn't lose money on it, but it wouldn't make much on it. But it'd be great. But then I get the sale from the bigger product. So you can arrange for a mate for it. That's what I'm trying to talk to you about, and that's the advantages of selling private label products, because you can do this, and it's great. Amazon likes it. You're going to come out smelling like a rose, and just the customer's going to like it. So arrange for a mate for your product. Okay, and then you can have more siblings. Well, I think you can guess what this is about. You can add more sizes to your product. If you're selling something like if we get into the cookies again or something like that, you're selling a 1-pack of cookies. There's no reason why you can't sell a 2-pack. There's no reason why you can't sell a 4-pack, a 6-pack. You can even do a case. A lot of people do, especially in rice cakes or something like that. They have like 12 packages of rice cakes in a case like that. It's a good deal, and you can make more money. It's easier to take care of, and so add more siblings to your product, and then add a complementary product. Peanut butter, add jelly. It's a natural that goes together. Oh, what can I tell you? And a complimentary peanut butter, add jelly. You've got a like cutting board, add the oil. Add do whatever you want. Like, a lot of things you can do. And then add unrelated products. A lot of big companies do it, especially right now. Or add you sell Hot Wheels. Add a Hot Wheels game to your repertoire, or what you want to call it, or to your things you sell on Amazon. Why not? A lot of the big companies are doing it right now. You see all the toys and everything. They're coming out with games. They're coming out with a lot of different stuff. So there's no reason why you can't. It doesn't have to be peanut butter and jelly. It's something that actually goes together. It can be an unrelated product under your brand, because that's what you're selling. You're selling your brand, and you can do it. Don't be afraid to do it. Take advantage of your brand. What can I tell you? So have more siblings. All right. You can sell it. Now, I know a lot of you are going to look at me and say, sell it? What are you talking about? I want to make money with it. So I'm saying, that's the one thing that makes selling private label for income and lifestyle, it makes us different from anybody else, because you've got a product, and when you get down the end, when you've got it branded and it's selling good, you can sell that product, you can sell that brand, you can sell your business. You know, that's what it's all about. Whether when you want to retire, or maybe you want to do something different, but you want to give it, maybe you want to give it to your kids. You can give it to your kids. It's something that you own. There's so many people out there doing retail arbitrage, doing wholesale. They're sending other people's stuff in there. They're building big jobs. And now there's something, if you want to, I did a Google Hangout maybe a month, 6 weeks ago, about, are you building a business, or are you building a job? And there's so many out there that are building jobs. And how do I know? I did it for 20 some years, almost 25 years. I built a job, because I thought I was really doing it, because I had one of the premier drapery workrooms in South Florida. And it was great. And then I went to sell it, because we sold the property. I wanted to sell the business, and I went to sell it, and I realized I couldn't sell it because I was the business. I'm the one that had to make the patterns. I'm the one that knew what was going on and everything else, and nobody else in the company. I'm sure I had people that worked for me that did this part and they did that part, but none of them could do the what. So when I went to sell my business, I found out that, man, it wasn't worth much, because the only way it was worth much is if I went with it, and I wanted to sell. And that's what I'm seeing here, that all these people are sending all this stuff in wholesale. You're sending it in, you're sending it in, you're sending it in, and you're building it, but you're building a job. You're not building a business you can sell, because people are not willing to learn that. They don't. They want it done for them. And if you've got a business that's all set up, so all they have to do is replace the inventory, set the orders, and replace the inventory, you've got a business you can sell. And there's bukus of people out there looking for it. Believe me, they're willing to spend the money, and I proved that time and again, because it's not only this business, but I think I've shared with you, I did affiliate marketing. One of the things I did was I built these affiliate websites, and I built them up to where they were making between $1,000 and $1,500, $2,000 a month, and I can sell them. And you know what? I'd have them on the market 2 days at the most, and they'd sell, because you'd be surprised the number of people out there sitting there that are looking for places to put their money. In other words, they've got a lot of money. They're not getting anything from the bank, and they're not getting anything from the stock market's hardly doing anything. And so, but if you've got a business where they can buy it at a fairly decent, where you can make good money at it now selling it, they're going to buy it. They'll buy it because they're looking for something that they can put somebody in and give it to somebody to run for them or something, if they don't have to do it. But if you're building this business right, like we're teaching you, and you're building it for income and lifestyle, man, there's no reason why you can't sell this product. You can't sell your brand. You can't sell it to somebody who's willing to invest in it and run it. So that's what I say. Sell it. You want to get the best price, you sell it. What can I tell you? When it comes down to get the best price, like I did with the websites, like I probably, I'm not going to do it for this business for a while, but anyway, I'm only 72. I'm young. I've got years to go yet. But what I'm trying to sell you is, think about that, and think and build your business to the place that you can sell it. You cannot sell a business where the business is nothing more than you sending, you going out and doing all the work and deciding everything, because it all just depends on you. If you're the one that's sending it into Amazon, you're the one that's doing the picking or whatever. Find the wholesaler for this week and send it in, and next month you find another wholesaler. So that's a bunch of nonsense. That's not a sellable business, folks. That's a job, and and I can't tell you enough to get away from it. Change that and get into something. Build a lifestyle. Build a business you can sell, because it doesn't cost you any more. It doesn't cost you any more time or anything else. It just takes some know-how and to learn it. So if you want to get the best price, sell it. And then I know it's your baby, and you've put sweat and tears into it and everything else, but don't get to the point where you don't want to sell it because it's your baby. Forget about it. Sell it. Sell it. If you can make good money on it, you want to get out of there, you want to do something different, sell it. One more time, sell it. All right. So we're going to go on and then discontinue it. What can I tell you? If it's not making money, discontinue it. Okay, you remember I told you, I talked maybe about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes ago about this one bundle I created where I sell cutting boards, and I also sell an oil, a sizing oil for it, and then I put the rag in and everything else. And I took and that was a good product, a good looking product, and it's still on Amazon there. But the problem is it's gone down. If I promote it, it goes up. And then, but if I don't promote it all the time, it goes down. And I'm just getting a little discouraged with it because, quite honestly, I was busy over the Christmas time and with other projects and stuff like that. Well, one thing, I was building the course and all that, and didn't pay too much attention to it. And I didn't realize it till I got this little letter from Amazon saying that the long-term storage fees are coming up. And that if I didn't do something, the product that I had in there right now, they were going to charge me $1,500 for and a lot of that was this kit or something that I'm talking about. Everything else was selling pretty good except for this and one other game that I had bought, and I bought 350, 400 of this one game, and it was sold real good at Christmas time. I sold almost half of them at Christmas time, but the other half were getting close to, because I bought them a year ago. In January, and I'd bought them and had them sent in. Well, they didn't sell hardly at all during the summertime or anything, and I knew it wouldn't. I didn't expect that to, but I expected to sell more. But I only sold about half of them at Christmas time, and so that's part of that 1,500. So I should have discontinued it. Should have thought of that. But that's what I'm talking about. If it's not making money, discontinue it. So I had to have all that stuff shipped back to me. Had it shipped back to me. Now I'm going to send some in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to promote it on eBay and have Amazon fulfill it to try and get rid of it. I'm just going to run it out at a good price so I get rid of it. It's just one of those things. It's if it's not making money, discontinue it. Don't feel like you have to work with something to the nth degree. If it's a dud, discontinue. What's can I say? That was a good product, I said, and there's a lot of my good friends on the internet and the forums over there that bought it, and everybody likes it. It was a good product, but I can't get the customers to take it. You know what I'm saying? When I promote it, it'll do so good, and then all of a sudden it'll drop off again. So I'm going to discontinue it. If it's a dud, discontinue it. It's to your advantage. Don't hold out. If something's not working, move on. Get rid of it and sell it. Get rid of it, discontinue it, and go on to something else. So what can I say? If it's a dud, discontinue it. If it's not making money, discontinue it. If it's going out of fashion, discontinue it. Like Radio Shack went out. Blockbuster went out. So how many businesses like that? They didn't watch. They didn't see maybe they did, but maybe they were in a position where they couldn't change it. Sometimes they did, but get rid of it. Cut your losses and move on. Don't sit there and don't ride a dead horse. That's what I'm trying to say. So discontinue it. Okay. And then the last thing is enhance it. When you take a product, excuse me, I got to add some water here. What I mean by enhance it? Well, you can make it bigger. You can make it better. You can make it do more things. And you can add to its perceived value. And most of all that will add to the perceived value. So, if something, is not working exactly what, enhance it. Make it better. Maybe you can put a better set of instructions in there, like I do in a couple of my products. I've got in the one product I've got a 4-page instruction with it, and of course it's included into a love letter for the customer, but it's 4 pages of instructions how to get the most out of it, how to do this and that, and people love it. I hear more and more all the time in the comments I get back about how great they love that that letter and that's in there. So that's what it's all about. Make it bigger, make it better. You can always make something if that's what the grocery store, not the the grocery store, but the producers have. Say they've got you'll see all the time, an extra 4 ounces in this dishwashing thing. Today we're going to make it better. We're going to give you an extra 4 ounces. So that's what you can make it bigger. You can make it better. You can give it better. You can do make it better by giving him more. Giving more quantity, making it better, making more for the money, make it do more things. You can if your product does hula hoops, so make it do 2 hula hoops or something. Make it do more things, and that's sometimes is sometimes that's kind of hard, but sometimes it's fairly easy. If you just got to think about it, read your reviews and see what people are asking for. They'll tell you, and the reviews are really good for that. They'll tell you a lot. You can learn more by listening to the reviews, watching the reviews, than you can a lot of other things. Reviews, you should, and your competitor, watch your competitors' reviews. Find out what people are saying that they don't like. Watch those 3- and 4-star reviews, because they'll always tell you what they don't like about it. And that's stuff you can improve on. That's things you can do to make it better. And then add to its perceived value. We talk about this all the time. Add to its perceived value. Oh wow. Like I say, a lot of times you can do it with a change the container it's in. If you're doing with a blister pack, and change it to a nice looking box with a label. There's a lot of things you can do to add to perceived value. Maybe change the color sometimes. It will add to the perceived value. Anything that will add to that perceived value is real good. I don't know if you noticed, there was a Diane Radlick was the other day, was on one of the forums and everything, and she did a nice article on color, which was really right to the point. And you can add to your perceived value just sometimes by changing the color. So whatever it takes, the point of it is that add to it, enhance it, make it better. But those are all the advantages of selling private label brands on Amazon. What can I tell you? That's where it's all about, and that's what we're looking to. Anything that's going to help us, sell more product, that's what we want to do. And okay, so that's it for the my little PowerPoint presentation there. I look forward to that. But anyway, I notice here on the right now we got the questions set up, and I notice there's some questions over there. We're going to get to them in just a minute. I see one from Kathy Hudson here, or maybe 2 of them there anyway, but we're going to get over there. And so we'll go over there right now, and let's pull a question up. Excuse me 1 minute. I'm dry tonight for some reason. I want to, let me get some water. I think it must be the weather. I know, and look at here. I live in South Florida. I live right outside of West Palm Beach in a town called Stewart is where I live. And it's usually nice and warm, but look at me. I've got a flannel shirt on, long sleeve shirt, which I very seldom ever wear. And I'm dry because I know it's the weather and all that. But and I guess I shouldn't be complaining, because I know probably a lot of you people are up north where you're buried in snow and everything like that. And I apologize for I don't apologize for being down here. I moved down here 35 years ago because I don't like cold weather. I remember when year before I moved down here, I was out, and we had some dairy stores up in Illinois, and part of my job was to go out and go at night when we had a snowstorm and plow out the ramps so our trucks could be in the next morning to unload the product and everything like that. And I remember about 3 o'clock in one morning, I'm sitting there and with a hydraulic hose broke of the plow, and I'm laying there in the snow, hydraulic oil all over me and everything. And that's when I decided, Florida. That's when I decided Florida, and I haven't looked back. I came down and I love Florida, but I can say right now it's cold, and I know I shouldn't be complaining because a lot of you are a lot more colder than I am. My poor brother, he lives up in like I say, I live down here in way South Florida, and he lives out right outside of Fargo, North Dakota, into Minnesota, Fergus Falls, Minnesota, in that area up there, and uh, it's cold up there, and I don't want to go see my brother in the wintertime. My cousin, my nephew got married up there about what 10, 15 years ago, and I went up there and all I can say is that song "Baby It's Cold Outside." It was cold and 20 below, and my brother's out there barbecuing, and oh well, that's my spiel on wintertime and that. I love Florida, and I'm glad I'm here, but it's cold tonight, and okay, so let's go over here. And Kathy, I'm sorry, I just had to. I was saying that here. So let's select this one here. Okay, I have noticed that some sellers have different kinds of products, and each product has its own brand name. Do you have to trademark each product brand before you start selling? No, no, you don't. And matter of fact, I ran into this question somewhat before. No, I would. You can, when uh, how do I say? When you start it, you've got to keep a copy of everything you got, so you get in trouble. But as far as going and filling everything out and all that, or Amazon brands and all that, before you got a product, before you know it's going to sell real good, I wouldn't go to all that. That's like sweating the small stuff before the time. I would document everything. Document the day you get your label made, document it, have pictures of it and everything like that, of the dates and all that, so you can prove that you had your product at a certain time and that. But let me make sure I'm answering that. Have you noticed that some sellers have different kinds of products and each product has its own brand name? Do you have to trade? No, you don't have to trademark each product. Just like I say, keep track of it. It's like when you build a website and all that, you put down at the bottom of your website the day you started and good till that on, that acts as a trademark. So and you're the same thing. Now I'm not an actual lawyer, and so I'm not saying that's what a lawyer might tell you. A lawyer might tell you to dot your I's and cross your T's, and I don't know, personally, I think that's putting the cart before the horse. I would get my product really going good and everything like that. Then I would go through all that. Hope that makes sense. I I don't want to, like I say, steer you wrong here or something like that. But you can get really involved in here, and you can follow all that stuff to the T and everything like that. But I wouldn't do it before you know you've got a winner, because you might spend all that money, you might spend all that time, because it takes time doing that brand registry with Amazon. It takes time doing a lot of that stuff, and I wouldn't do it, because people will still. They can come on your thing, but you can get rid of it. That's another story like that. But no, I wouldn't. Uh, I wouldn't do each product. I'd wait and see that it's going good, and then I'd do it. Yes. Okay. And here's another question. Oh, here. I'm sorry. I guess I got to select this here, and then it pops up there. I'm sorry. All the rest of you, go ahead and put your questions down there. Be glad to answer any questions or anything you've got. Doesn't necessarily have to be on this subject, but it'd probably be best if it is. But if it isn't, I'll be glad to answer any questions you got. We've got the time allotted. We've got 15, 20 minutes to go here, so I have no problem answering any questions. Okay, here's another one from Kathy. When you came up with a brand name and logo for your product, did you have to trademark it before you start? Oh, that's the same one. Trademark it before you start to sell. No. I came up with my brand name and my logo, and I contacted a Odesk, I believe it was, at that time, and I use a graphic artist over in Pakistan is where he's at, and does all my labels and everything for it, and we've worked together long enough now that he knows me and I kind of know him, and I kind of tell him what he wants, and he comes up with it, and then usually within one or two renderings, he's going to have what I like, and we go from there, and then that's all I do is I take the label, have the manufacturer put it on the product, have the manufacturer send the product to Amazon, and we're off and running. And if it's really good or something like that, then I will probably trademark it and all that. But you know, what can I tell you? It's like that. It's just like that product I was telling you about a little bit ago, where I did that bundle with the cutting board, the oil, and the rag, and everything like that. It's a good-looking product. Still selling on Amazon, but I'm to the point where I'm going to discontinue it because it's not worth the while. Especially, oh, we get into this. I don't know. We haven't talked about this. I'm thinking about doing a thing as soon as a hangout on the new freight things, because it somewhat scares me. Some of my products are fairly heavy, and when they were going with straight weight, now they're going dimensional weight, and I don't know how that's affected any of you, but some of the stuff I've figured in. I used to figure if I was doing something that would cost me 50 cents, right around 49 50 cents to get it sent to Amazon. Now it's up to 75, and some of it was 90 cents. I pulled some out last night. We had a mastermind call, and it kind of scares me because it was up to $2 on a farthest one. Now this is Amazon. A lot of times they'll have you send to 3 different places. This time they happen to do, because I was selling case lots. They don't have 3 lots, so they sent me a case. Send 1 case to 3 different people. Well, when the one that went to California was almost costing me $2 in an item to send the freight out there. And folks, that's high when you're adding $2 to your cost. And that's one of the things when you say about trademark. I wouldn't do that to you. You got a winner. That you're going to make some money, and so you can go ahead and do that. Kathy, I hope that answers your question for you. What can I tell you? That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. I know a lot of people would probably tell you that, but I don't think so, because I was on Dwayne Malick's thing the other day, and a lady had a question on private label, and Dwayne said, ask 3 or 4 of us that do private label what they thought, and Andy Slammons, and he said, it's basically the same thing. You said, you're doing it early, so and I agree. I definitely agree. I think there's a time and place for everything, but I think when you're first starting out, you first run a product, I don't think to do the Amazon branded thing and all that's the time. I think wait till later on you get running good and all that. So what can I tell you? So I thank you for that. I hope that answers for you, Kathy. Okay, here I see you got another one. Boy, that's good. Thank you. I appreciate that. How do you go about picking out a supplier for your products? Ooh. I do 2 or 3 different things, but I'll be honest with you. You can. It depends what the product is. The first thing, there's a website that I use here in the States where you can get just about anything you want. They're a site that does nothing more than takes wholesalers and puts them into categories, and so I can go on that site and I can pick what so you've already got your product picked out. I want to make sure I'm answering you right. Yeah, so you've got your product picked out. You can go to that website, put that product in, and it's going to come up with probably 10, 12 different suppliers in the States that will supply that product for you. Sometimes you're going to be less, sometimes you're going to be more, but they're going to come up with supplier. Almost everything, I very seldom do I ever find anything that I can't find a supplier in that in the States. Now, with that being said, sometimes in the States, you have to be fairly close, and I just talked about that. You don't have to be the same price. You don't, because you can enhance it, especially when you're starting on your private label. You can do different things to add to the perceived value for it, and that's something we're going to have to do a whole hangout on perceived value, because there's so much you can do. But anyway, with that supplier, and then there's also Alibaba. There's also 2 or 3 places over in the deal in like Vietnam, China, different places like that where you can put your product in, especially Alibaba. you can put your product in there that you want, and within about 30 seconds, they'll come up with probably sometimes as high as 25, 30 different suppliers for that product. And then you can go down that list, and on Alibaba, you can click that list right there, and you can contact the supplier right there from their website, and you can do that. And but what I would usually do, if that, I'd look through that whole list that Alibaba gives you, or something like that, 4 or 5 different ones that you think might fit your bill. You can always go back later and ask more, but then you click those, and then you can write one letter to all of them right there on the Alibaba website, or send one email and said that, this is Kathy Hudson, and my company is Kathy's Great Designs, and we're looking at your product. We think it might be a good fit for our line. Could we please have some more information, like pricing and minimum order quantity, and all that? Talk to them nice, and you'll get it back a lot of times because of the time frame over there. They're so many hours behind us, I believe it is. I don't know, but anyway, usually when you're dealing with China or Vietnam or any of those places like that, when they're coming on, or they're getting started about 10, 12 o'clock. About 7, 8 o'clock at night is when they're getting up and they're starting to go on. So what can I tell you? Get it like that, and they'll get back to you, and they'll come back to you, and then like I say, you've done 5 or 6, so just talk back and forth and start a relationship with those people. Ask about the company and all that, the minimum order quantity with the but what's it going to cost me to have you put the label on? And if you want to put you want to put your love letter to your customer inside the box, if you're doing a box. Ask them for price. You ask them for prices, and they'll get back, and they're going to go back and forth. Just remember one thing: they want to sell to you just as bad as you want to buy from them. So, and it's a give and take thing. And I can understand that, but I really need to keep this under $1 to make it profitable, and it's something that I can work with and live with. And so a lot of times they'll accommodate you, but they might raise their minimum order quantity from 100 to 200 or something like that. Or sometimes they'll get ridiculous now, and then you just go on and then say thanks, but no thanks, and go on to another supplier. So what can I tell you? But that's basically what you have to do. And the site in the States is wholesale brands. You can go on there. You put it in, and like I say, it brings it up. Which brings me to it's 8:54. So Kathy says, "Thank you very much for your time," and I appreciate that, Kathy. We're done with that. There's no more here, so I'm going to, if somebody's got a last question or something, I'd be glad to answer them. Put the questions in there. Be glad to answer them. But I mentioned it during the presentation that what I've done is on my website, which is privatelabelselling.com. I put the thing down there in the below the thing. I hope you can see it. If not, I can't put it on this one. It won't let me. But it's just like it sells, privatelabelselling.com. And on there, I've got just about all of these hangouts that I've done, and they're free to you. You can go anytime you want, and you can watch them. There's no charge for them or anything like that. I'm trying to, my goal is to make that privatelabelselling.com the go-to place for any information on private label. And it's not going to be yes, we sell it. I have a course. You're welcome to sign up for the course, but I'm not pushing the course right now. When you get to the point that you really want to get real serious about it and you want to get with the course, we'd be glad to have you as a student on the thing. But like I say, we're putting this stuff that it's for you. It's for you to use. and you know, and I'll try my best to answer any questions or anything else. We do have the forum, which is I guess that's for members only too, so we can't very well go on that. But I can, you can always PM me, you know, at Google Plus, it's Terry Shire, or on Facebook, it's Terry Shire. So what can I tell you? I'm there to help you. I'm there to help you any way I can. But that's just something I wanted to point out, so you don't have to go looking all for them. That on the privatelabelselling.com, you're going to find a list of all these, and there's also a search box if you want to search for a certain one. And maybe I'll list more of them. I don't know, but anyway, they're all on there. You just well, they will be within the next couple of days. I'm putting them all on, and all the videos, and so all you have to do is click on it. You can watch the whole presentation, or you can pick and choose whatever part you want. And anyway, that's what it's all about. It's trying to get the information to you so you can use it, you can benefit from it, and hopefully we can you know, be good friends and enjoy it. And so what can I tell you? It's 8:57, so we've got you know, we don't have to cut it. I'll be glad to stay, as you know, but if not, well, we're probably going to end it. I don't see any more questions here, and I don't think you want me to sit here and just try to what can I tell you, keep talking about something. And I can tell you about how glad I am that I'm in Florida and not up north right there, like I say, with my brother Fargo. Oh man, it's cold up there, guys, and you can see I'm down here South Florida. I got my flannel shirt on, I'm all bundled up, and what can I tell you? So I just really appreciate it. I appreciate you folks watching. Like I say, one more time, you can go to the website privatelabelselling.com. I don't have a link up there. I do someplace down there, but I don't know if I can find it. But anyway, you're welcome to go there and click on any of these hangouts that I've made over the past 2.5, 3 months, and they're going to be all listed there. They're almost all listed there. There's a few that are not, but I'll get them there in the next couple of days. So you can go there, watch anytime you want, and we're going to put some more articles up there. We're going to put some more things. Like I say, I'd like that to make that to the go-to place for private label selling. I don't care whether you're my student or Andy's student or any of the other students. You know, we're all in this together. We want to help each other, and we want to grow. So with that being said, I think I'm going to sign off for the night. I appreciate you. I appreciate you spending some time with me, and you have a good night, and we shall see you next week.